Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live channel episode. I'm actually amazed this is working because yesterday and today it's taken me 3 times to set up the video and I've had to delete it 3 times before it's actually gone live. So I was kind of hoping it would work. So I don't know if you've been having notifications popping out for previous videos that I've had to delete. But anyway, this is the video for today. It is November the 3rd, 2020. Wow, it is also a very important day if you are a United States citizen because it is election day. So if you haven't voted, I do believe from now you've got roughly about 6.5 hours to vote before the polls close. So do go out and vote if you're registered and you haven't already, do go out and do that. Right, but enough of American politics, because today I want to talk about this kind of ongoing saga. I mean, who would have thought, literally all these years later, that there would be another Princess Diana, Martin Bashir documentary scandal that is kind of taking place, going on at the moment. Hello to everyone just dropping in. Mason, Maria, Laurie, Terry, Bethan. Hello and welcome to everyone. If you're watching on catch up later, do of course leave a comment. I will try and read as many messages as I possibly can. So I'm going to kind of go straight into it, and I'm actually going to read from an article which I think has I've chosen one that I think has all the information in one place, and then I'll kind of stop and start and kind of dissect what is going on in the article. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So it's billed as a royal exclusive. We do like a royal exclusive, don't we? The headline is, it's an online article. Princess Diana's brother, Earl Spencer, sensationally exposes. Well, there we've got the word sensational and exposes in the same headline. So this has got to be good. Exposes Martin Bashir. Bashir's letter falsely accusing Prince Charles of an affair with the prince's nanny, and demands an inquiry into a whitewash over the Panorama Martin Bashir interview. Princess Diana's brother, Charles Spencer, or rather Earl Spencer, has accused the BBC of a whitewash over faked bank statements. We've heard about these before, so these aren't new, but they are said to have helped land Martin Bashir's historic interview with Diana. So in a devastating letter, that's right people, devastating letter, Charles Spencer expressed his outrage. I do like a good outrage. Don't you all just love an outrage? I don't know, I think we're a society these days, aren't we? That's driven by outrage. Anyway, expressed his outrage at the institution's sheer dishonesty and accused Martin Bashir, who secured the sensational, there's that word again, interview for Panorama in 1995. He's called it yellow journalism. Earl Spencer also told the Director General of the BBC, Tim Davie, that Bashir showed him falsified bank account statements purporting to show entirely wrongly that 2 senior courtiers were being paid by the security services for information on his sister in the hope it would win him an introduction to the princess. So basically what they're saying is that Martin Bashir produced these fake bank statements as evidence, which he took to Charles Spencer, which then Charles Spencer helped set up the kind of preliminary kind of, contact between Martin Bashir and Diana, sort of pre-documentary. So he's saying that basically he wouldn't have helped Martin Bashir set up or even contact Diana if he hadn't seen these statements, which he believed at the time were true and accurate, but turned out to be false. So the plot thickens. Anyway, accusing the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, of failing to accept the full gravity of the situation, and that is in quotes, the Earl is demanding the BBC formally open an inquiry into the case. Now, there has been many internal inquiries along the way. Some of it has been kind of conflicting other inquiries from previous years, or rather former inquiries. So basically, all this is kind of being stirred up because of it being it's the 30th anniversary of the Panorama interview. In fact, I remember sitting down and watching it myself when it came out. It really was truly sensational when it came out. No, not 30 years, it's 25 years, but it was sensational. It was absolutely sensational when it came out. I watched it with my mother in bed. I got into bed with my mum, we pulled the duvet up and we watched this sensational interview. It really was truly, it was a bombshell landmark royal interview. Anyway, I digress. He says the corporation owes both himself, the viewing public, and most importantly, the late princess, a posthumous apology for the whole-scale deception by a journalist working for its flagship news programme. So, Charles Spencer has released a little bit of a... Well, I'll read it to you and we can all kind of discuss it. So, this is apparently from Martin Bashir to Earl Spencer. He wasn't Earl Spencer at the time. Maybe he was. I can't remember. I can't remember what year. Can someone Google for me what year Charles Spencer became Earl Spencer? Anyway, there is about to be a concerted fight back by Miss Legge-Bourke. That's Tiggy Legge-Bourke, the nanny. Rumours have been circulating about recurring intimacy between her and a particular individual. Well, I think by particular individual, they mean Charles. One aide witnessed outdoor pursuits of a different kind. She is keen to divert much attention. Hence, a decision was taken last night to authorise a friend who will say the following: that her weight loss is not due to her feeling for a particular individual and his desire for a waif-like figure, but a gluten intolerance. A gluten intolerance, which means she cannot eat wheat or any bread substance. That she has been repeatedly bombarded by nuisance messages on her radio pager. Oh, those were the days, weren't they? Radio pagers, before mobile phones. Anyway, there will be a strong implication that these are coming from a disgruntled source. Oh, I love that word, disgruntled. I love to be outraged and disgruntled, and if you can be outraged and disgruntled at the same time, even better if you're British. We like to be disgruntled, we like to be outraged. We find joy in it. Anyway, there can be only one obvious culprit. Ooh. Tell me more. Following Sunday's successful preempting of the visit to so it says word not entirely clear. So I'm reading a transcript, not the actual, so it must have been in handwriting. This appears to be stage 2 of the latest strategy. I think you should inform your sister ASAP. If you wish to discuss further, I'm at home from about 8 p.m. tonight. With all good wishes, signed Martin. So basically Martin is trying to get Charles's interest to kind of get Diana to do this interview, basically. So anyway, Tiggy Legge-Bourke, the nanny, was at the centre of Bashir's attempt to secure this interview. The nanny's relationship with William and Harry had led to jealousy from Diana, and by 95, the princess was also concerned about a closeness between Miss Legge-Bourke and her estranged husband. Bashir's fax to Diana's brother was an attempt to win his trust and hers by playing on that false belief. He writes that rumours were circulating about recurring intimacy between Miss Legge-Bourke and a particular individual who we think is obviously Charles in this instance. Bashir's interview, in which Diana would go on to sensationally tell him that there were 3 people in this marriage, a reference, we all believed, to Charles's relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, as she was known at the time. The audience of the initial interview was 23 million viewers and was hailed as the greatest tell-all scoop of the 20th century. But 25 years after she bared her soul, fresh allegations have emerged that the BBC obtained the scoop under a false pretext. So before Mr Davey issued a partial apology, which actually happened last week, Mr Spencer had said it was palpably untrue for the BBC to say the bank statements were irrelevant. So the BBC said that the bank statements were irrelevant. They issued a kind of partial apology, but basically Charles Spencer is hitting back and saying, no, that's not enough. So this is a letter that Charles has written to Mr. Davey, and I'm going to read this now. So it's billed as Charles Spencer's ultimatum to the BBC's new boss. So he says, "Dear Mr. Davey, please see below but one example of what I have in my Bashir BBC file at Althorpe." He has a file. He's kept receipts, people. It directly disproves the points you make to me regarding the BBC's actions of 25 years ago. Your piecemeal apology seems to be a way for you merely to say that you've apologised to me rather than acceptance of the full gravity of this situation. You seem to be apologising for me having been shown false bank statements that were irrelevant to the securing of the interview, that is, those relating to my former employee, Alan Waller. However, it was Bashir's showing me the false bank statements relating to a very large payments to Messrs. Jeffson, Patrick, Diana's former private secretary, and Elliot, Richard, Charles's former private secretary. So basically, Charles and Diana's private secretaries, they were included in these false statements. So payments alleged by Bashir to have come from the security services that need to be brought into a much larger apology. One directed posthumously to Diana, to all who were so grossly lied to, including a global audience, and to me. For Bashir to claim that he showed me any false bank statements after I introduced him to Diana is a lie. I have never met him or spoken to him since the introduction on the 19th of September 1995. I knew on the 19th of September that he was lying. I had absolutely nothing to do with him after that date. So Charles is basically, well, in his own words, he is saying that he didn't know, and he had nothing more to do with him after that date when he did know that he'd been lied to. I am now formally asking for the BBC to open an inquiry into this matter, and I hope that it will get to the bottom of key questions. Why did Tony Hall's inquiry not seek the truth from me? So in other words, Charles wasn't interviewed or included as part of the inquiry. Why did it bend over backwards to whitewash Bashir? Who else knew the extent of his yellow journalism when securing what Hall calls the interview of the decade or of the generation? I have to leave you in no doubt because I want to be absolutely clear not to threaten. This is all going to come out now. The sheer dishonesty of what I've seen in the BBC 25 years ago, both in Bashir and his colleagues' actions in securing the interview and the whitewash under Tony Hall's name, demands it. Yours sincerely, signed Charles Spencer. So that was sent, I think, in an email on October the 23rd. So basically, he said that if he hadn't seen those statements that were given by Martin Bashir, he would not have introduced him to Diana in the first place. And in turn, Martin Bashir would have remained just one of thousands of journalists, hoping that he or she had a tiny chance of getting her to speak to them, with no realistic prospect of doing so. Martin Bashir has also been accused of exploiting the princess's fears that her private conversations were being bugged by the secret services to garner a meeting. Martin Bashir was said to have first contacted Diana's brother 3 months before the interview, saying he was looking into media ethics. The Earl went on to arrange a meeting between himself and his sister and Bashir at a friend's apartment in London in September 1995, but obviously under false pretences. Charles Spencer kept notes of the discussions and eventually warned his sister against dealings with Bashir, obviously once he found out that he'd been lied to, over the sensational allegations he was making. But by that time, he said it was too late and Diana had been hooked in. As I said, over the years, the BBC did launch their own inquiries into the fake document, which concluded in April 1996 that the BBC has been able independently to verify that these documents were put to no use which had any bearing, direct or indirect, on the panorama interview with the Princess of Wales. The review was overseen in part by Tony Hall. But obviously renewed publicity around the 25th anniversary of the interview and the airing again of the claims has led to a renewed interest. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to kind of go down now and read some comments and see exactly what people are saying. Amber says, "What does it matter now?" I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. A lot of people are going to be thinking, why rake up, why stir up all these old feelings? But I think from Charles Spencer's point of view, I think basically he wants retribution. After all of these years, he was lied to, and I think he probably feels definitely a sense of betrayal and also a sense of whitewashing over that betrayal. He knows that he wouldn't, well, he says that he would not have introduced Diana to Bashir had he not basically been taken in and lied to and convinced by Martin Bashir because of these faked documents. So I think he feels a sense of betrayal. He also probably feels a big sense of loyalty to Diana's memory, and perhaps he feels that this is, you know, one last final thing that he can do, maybe, you know, to fight a battle on behalf of Diana. I don't know, but I get what you're saying, you know, why kind of stir it all up now. Sharon Welsh says the BBC are saying they had nothing to do with the statement, and Diana apparently said in a statement that they had nothing to do with her giving an interview. Yes, that formed part of another inquiry, but the plot thickens. They cannot produce that letter. I watched a recent documentary, one of the 25-year anniversary documentaries, and it said that the BBC claimed that Diana had written this letter, but they could not produce this letter as proof, as evidence, and, you know, it seemed rather suspicious. You know, how would a letter of that magnitude just get lost? Wouldn't it be filed away somewhere safe? But basically the BBC are saying that they do not have that letter to produce as evidence. Nobody has seen this letter. All of the inquiries that have gone into this were internal by the BBC, so there isn't that element of transparency, shall we say. 1992, thank you. Yes, he became Earl Spencer in 1992. Bit of brain fog there. Lady Buckingham says, one more piece of information for Harry to be right about the media and his family. Well, we don't know that Diana, for example, had been bugged or any of that. There's also talk that, you know, William had a watch which recorded Diana, whether that was bugged or not. We simply don't know, basically, about that. Let's go down a little bit. Oh, I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, just so I'm being kind of relevant. Lady Buckingham says her brother didn't do anything to help Diana when she asked for it, when she needed it. He feels guilty. That is also a possibility. We know that Diana asked to live on the estate shortly. Well, after her divorce. Charles had said yes, and then he'd regained on his word and said no. Right, let's go down again. Right. Sharon says, Lady B, I agree when Diana asked to come home and her brother said no because she would bring the media with her. Yes, I mean, I'm sure he had his reasons, but basically, I think Diana felt like the family estate could offer a form of sanctuary for her. And then something that she thought was going to happen didn't end up happening in the end. Right, and I think I'm going to just go back to the article and see if there's anything else that I've kind of missed about it. I don't think there is. Oh, there we go. The Earl Spencer says that Martin Bashir claimed that William wore a watch that recorded Diana and said the Queen and Edward were terminally ill. My goodness. I mean, they are some claims. I mean, I am sure that all of this eventually will come out in the wash if there is an inquiry about all of this. But yeah, I mean, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of this new salaciousness going on. Right. We have 98 people watching. By the way, thank you so much for watching my video yesterday. If you haven't, then do go and check it out. I am back after a week's holiday, so if you've missed my videos, I am back, and I'll hopefully be doing one a day, talking about all the different news stories that are going on. So is there anything else that you would like to talk about the royal family? Any royal questions that you may have for me? I'm just going to go to the royal family's Twitter account and see if anything's been updated recently. That's the Pride of Britain Awards. I forgot to talk about this yesterday. So we knew that after an engagement last week, well, the week before then, because obviously I was off work last week, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge recorded a special message for the Pride of Britain. Now, the Pride of Britain usually is a big set piece event with a big audience, and it mentions and rewards people for doing, ordinary people, not celebrities, for doing really good deeds. And the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, of course, as part of that show, recorded a very socially distanced message and paid tribute to the frontline heroes. And if you want to see a clip of that, you can go to the Pride of Britain Twitter, and there is a clip of their announcement on that. That was the one where Catherine changed outfit, and she met with a GMB Good Morning Britain host. Sharon says, did anybody watch the Pride of Britain Awards? I'd like to know if anybody watched it. And yes, Prince Charles featured on it too. It's Esther Ann. I talked about if there are any plans for the Queen to step down in yesterday's video, so do go back and watch that one. Franco says, heard the Queen has been looking into family counselling. Any truth? I've not even heard it. Where on earth have you heard that from? I most definitely have not even heard a thing about it. Right, I'm going to end today's video here. If you have any thoughts once we've gone off this video, or if you're watching on catch up, anything you think I've missed about the kind of Diana ongoing 25th anniversary Martin Bashir, Earl Spencer issue that's going on, do let me know in the comments section below. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me in Shropshire, mwah to you all, and goodbye.